Today is Sunday, February the 2nd. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning and it's about 60 degrees outside. We're supposed to start getting very cold winds later today, and there's like a cold front that's moving through, and we're supposed to get down into the low 20s at night. So I gotta kind of survey, and we might have 60-mile-an-hour gusts of wind. So I guess it's the polar vortex is headed down this way. We've had 70-degree weather earlier in the week, and it's been mild even at night, like in the 40s. And so we expect that all to change. It's the neighborhood's going crazy right now. Anyway, I wanted to show some progress in our yard and make a garden diary. Our focus over the last few weeks has been leaf removal and pruning. And I will say that I don't intend to ever do what I did this year, which is let all the leaves fall off the trees before I start leaf removal. I think I'm going to be more proactive. Oh, you can see the green in the green buds on that tree, which is kind of sad because if we get the cold we're expecting, those buds aren't good. Anyway, back to my leaf removal. I want to be more proactive so that it's not so overwhelming at this time of year, because it's been a huge job to try to get all these leaves out of the yard, and we've got no place to store them. We still have leaves from last year. I wanted to show that I moved some oleanders that now are going to get some sun that they didn't before. They were up in this bed up there, and you can see it's pretty shady. So, and I probably will plant another one right here in front of this electrical box, because these will be nice for screening. And you can see my artichokes have gotten bigger. That one's not looking too healthy, but those two look pretty good. I think our intentions are to take these bushes out eventually and probably put oleanders all along here. You can see the buds on that tree. I hope they don't get damaged. Everything's pretty well swept up, even behind the shed over there, so I moved all of my cages out, and I've got to find a place for them because the wind's probably gonna carry them somewhere where I don't want them to be carried, I'm sure. We've got some canis pots sitting there that I trimmed back, and now we're gonna move those to the backyard. Those were in the front yard. They're Tropicana. They have a really pretty leaf on them. I'm surprised that there's any life still, but there is. So I want to move those. My husband trimmed back all of the lantanas, and then they stay alive by the root, and so they'll be big again before long. He trimmed back this, and I don't know if that's even gonna make it. That's that Capian, and I know I want more of that. That was so pretty, and I did get some cuttings off of it, and this might be one that's growing in the rocks. So I might still be able to plant it without having to buy any. You cut back the bougainvillea. We did not move it in the garage this year, so it'll be interesting to see. It doesn't have hardly any green on it. The armeria around the the pot here are doing, the circle are doing well. I wanted to get some more to fill in. Hopefully I can do that soon. My husband's been working on this a little bit, trying to get the stand the way he wants it. There's some petunias in there. I cut back the mum that was there. I haven't cut back this mum yet, and nor have we done anything with those petunias. Our goal, this is all baby's breath back in here. I hope that little antenna up there makes it. It's brown right now, but our goal is to move these red lantana and put purple lantana in there. So we have purple because they drape over the pots. The red does not. My husband pruned back the salvia. You can see it's coming back to life already. Some of these pots and stuff are moved around because of leaf removal, so, and I got to get them put away before the wind comes. There's a calibrachoa that's grown back here that I think was propagated. And then I've got a red petunia. And then this is African daisy. And my husband cut back some of these, and the bees are loving this. So we didn't cut it back as severely as the other one because it had so many blooms on it. These are red lantanas as well, and we want to move those out. And we intend to move them over to that tree well. I'm also going to move out these gladiolas, the taller spiky plants there, because I want all of this to be agapanthus, which is what I planted last year in here, these. And so I want to fill this in with a pattern of agapanthus, not those tall things. Probably going to put them in the end here too. And then I want to get I think it's called a Dianella. And they look like a little, I think they're a Australian grass. And I think I know where I can get some of them, and I'm thinking that those would be pretty interspersed with the agapanthus. So that's my plan. My husband cut back this salvia. This is also African daisy. And that's that pepper plant that's, and then you can see we had watering issues with this plant, so my husband straightened out the watering and then cut it back severely. But it should be big and green before the summer's over. These are my blueberries, and they seem to be doing okay. And then the little pots of goji berries that I had there, I moved into these bigger pots, and then we trimmed them back because that's what you're supposed to do. This is an African daisy that's doing really well. That's a mum and some I think it's gazanias, and that's an African daisy, and I'm probably going to take all of that out. And I've been just cleaning up this bed. I'm trying to get rid of some of this California fuchsia. It was over in the rocks over here too. And I'm probably going to put something in a pot right there. There's my lavender. And then this plant is a purple lantana. We're moving it out and into one of the pots. And then, like I say, these at the end are purple lantana, and we're going to move those into pots as well. There's my heavenly bamboo. Even this little boxwood's gotten big. The rosemary are starting to bloom, and you can hear the bees in there in the rosemary. My husband cut back these lantana. And then this is an interesting plant. I've just got to figure out what it is. I think these turn, yeah, they do. They turn like a little pale pink color. Or white, maybe. Maybe they're white. And this shot up. I mean, it got tall. So I bought it at Costco. And I used to have the tag, and maybe I can still find it. The other thing is I cleaned out this tree well over here. And my husband wants to run water and stuff before I move any plants into it. So I hope to put red lantana in here. I don't know if it gets sunny enough or not, but I'm willing to give it a shot. That plant back there is what I pulled out of here. I just gotta carry it off. And the aronia berry that were over in the other pots I put in those brown fabric pots. I transplanted them over here. So I've been, and you can see there's still leaves down in here I gotta get. But I have been moving, transplanting plants all over the place. I moved this aronia into this. That was a red plant that I had over in this pot in this red pot this summer. So I moved it out. This is my gladiola pot, and I'm gonna move those gladiolas from the other planter over into here. And that's it. I don't want gladiolas popping up anywhere else. We are working on our structure here. We've got one of these spiral things here that we're gonna be putting in the garden. We're gonna take that trellis that's on this end and move it over to this side. So there'll be a trellis over on this side, and it'll be open these two directions, which should be easier to plant. And I'm gonna have beans, noodle beans, loofah, stuff like that. We're gonna do another arch, maybe 2 arches that mimic this arch, and then we're gonna mimic that arch over there here. So we have lots of climbing things. We cut back all of the pepper plants, and we don't know if they're gonna make it or not. My plan is to put tomatoes in between each of the trellises there. My onions are doing good. And I don't think, I transplanted a calico over here. I don't know that it's made it. It's still alive, but just barely. There's an African daisy. And then my salvia need to be cut back. I'm going to redo my strawberry tower. And I have new strawberries that I started from seed, which I would have never thought I could do. And so far I've gotten 3 little strawberry plants. So I'm going to redo this tower. This is the African daisy. See, they do really well. You just stick the little things in the soil and they start to get big. That's what this is too. But I just started it earlier this year. The same way with that one back there. And then I came out and scattered all of my older seeds for greens in here. So there's like mustard, lettuce, all sorts of lettuces, spinach, cilantro, and you can see that it's starting to produce. And like I say, I just sprinkled it throughout. Hopefully we'll get some greens in that bed shortly. I kind of did it late. It was like mid-January before I did it. Let's see. This is a petunia that we propagated, and I planted it before our cruise last October, and I just haven't moved it. So oh, and I have, this is cilantro that came up voluntarily. So I'm going to pick this out of the rocks very carefully. And I think there's some more over here. Yeah, those are cilantro. So I'm going to try pulling those out of the rocks. Even though I've started some in the house, I just feel like these are the hardy ones because they don't mind being outside already. So I noticed that's all cilantro too. I'm going to try to save it all. We shall see. I guess I'll show my plants, my starts. These are pepper plants that I pulled out of the garden last fall, and I've had some issues with some pests, so I've had to spray them, and that's why they're looking a little rough right now, but I think they'll do better shortly. But my plan is I'm going to take them in the house for the first part of this next week because it's supposed to get so cold outside. And then hopefully I can bring them back out and leave them in the greenhouse. And then I'll show you my other plants as pictures that I have in the house. But that tree has buds on it, that middle second tree in. And I think the plum trees do too, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the weather and our plants. That's my garden diary.